guys, welcome back to the channel. Sandor here. So we've had one hell of a beautiful day. We had sunny skies, no wind, and the temperature's about 30 Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. We've had some rotten weather the last few days, and I'll get into that in a second. Let's just check the temperature right now. So we're close to, all right, it's 27.5 degrees Celsius, 44% humidity. So that's close to 80 degrees Fahrenheit still. Yeah, so what's been happening lately is we've been getting, the rain is fine, we need the rain, but we've been getting a lot of smoke coming in from eastern Quebec and northern Ontario. And mixing with the rain, yeah, it was very unpleasant. And yesterday probably was one of the worst days. So it was really nice to get some really nice weather today. And yeah, we can probably say that we're not done with the forest fires. It's been a horrible year so far for a lot of folks. But anyways, this video is about the Chamaerops Humilis, and I thought I'd shoot a video during the evening now. It's really nice. And also the lighting here is a little bit, well, it's still kind of bright outside, but lighting is a little dim right now, but hopefully you guys can see the palm and the video pretty good. So let's start off with the Chamaerops Humilis here. So let's get right into it. So this is probably one of my favorite palms to grow, and I'll tell you guys why. So I again, a lot of you guys don't know, I live in Southern Ontario, Canada, zone 5B, 6A. I'm in Elora. It's a small town here in Western Ontario, and so our weather is not conducive to growing any types of palms. We have to protect them. So when it comes to protecting them, we have to make structures and heat them and all that. So a lot of you guys who don't know my channel, that's a little bit of the background. So so right here, this is the reason why I got into palms was because of Chamaerops. I've always loved this palm. It's a trunking palm, meaning that it puts up suckers. As you guys can tell, there's multiple suckers coming up, and basically you buy one palm and you get a bunch of palms for free. But not only that, it's manageable. It's easy to take care of, except for the one thing are these deadly spines on the petioles here. You got to be really careful. I've cut my fingers many times, hands, fingers, arms, many times trying to move around fronds and stuff, but I've gotten better now, so I've been proactive without scratching up my body with this plant. But regardless, it is one of my favorite plants, and it's manageable. You can definitely start off with something like this. This is a larger specimen. They're slow growing, and you know, if you're getting into if you're thinking about, you know, growing palms and needing to protect them during the winter, you want to start off with something like this. Don't start off with a large Chinese windmill palm, Trachycarpus like that, because you know, it's kind of difficult first couple of years trying to get the hang of things, and I always say, you know, don't do like I do. Start big and then run into problems. Start small, see how you like it, and then move on up to something bigger. So that's one of the reasons I really suggest growing a palm like this. So a bit of a background on this. So yes, like I mentioned, this is the Chamaerops Humilis, but also known as the European fan palm, and the what's the other name here? European fan palm and Mediterranean fan palm. Sorry, I had to think there. So like the name suggests, European fan palm, it is one of two palms endemic to Europe. The other one being, I believe it's called the Phoenix theophrasti, and of course the Chamaerops here. They're the only two palms endemic to Europe, and it's the northernmost growing palm in the world that grows naturally. A lot of people in the UK, in Europe, grow this. Places in Netherlands, Belgium, I believe, even Scotland. I know people that have tried growing these unprotected, and they do okay. The only problem is sometimes the winters can be cold and wet, especially when it's sub-zero weather, like the UK experienced the last couple of years. These guys can definitely be susceptible to damage, superficial damage like frond damage. But sometimes what happens is that cold weather with all that precipitation will cause rot. And this is a more of a dry climate palm, but they adapt well to other climates, and that's why I say a lot of people do grow them in the UK and places like that. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's so attractive, because it's such a cold hardy palm. So I will put up a map right now for you guys to see its habitat and its range in Europe and northern Africa. So I'll do that right now. You guys can take a look. And there we go. So yeah, that's the range. And care-wise, they're very easy to take care of. They're not fussy about soil, pH, or anything like that. I do fertilize a couple of times during the growing season here, but even if you don't want to do that and just plant it and leave it alone, that's fine. They're very drought tolerant, and that's evident because of the specimens that grow in northern Africa, specifically in Morocco, on the Atlas Mountains there. It's an arid, dry climate, but they are prone to sub-zero weather, meaning winter temperatures can get below 0 Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But the key to it is they stay dry, and there's a warm up the next day. But they are adaptable. They really are a hardy palm, and they do well in a lot of climates. So if you're trying this in the States, I know they grow well in out in BC and Canada here, coastal BC, Vancouver Island. There was some damage last couple of years to some Chamaerops, just because they did experience sub-zero temperatures. Places like in Vancouver got down to minus 12 Celsius, and along with the snow and the rain or precipitation, they were susceptible to rot, and like I explained to you guys before. But a lot of them did well, and some didn't. It's kind of touch and go. But again, coastal BC did receive unusually cold weather last couple of years. So yeah, and like I said, if you're down in the States, this is definitely a 7A, 7B palm. 7B, probably no protection whatsoever. 7A, maybe the odd year you need to protect it. And so yeah, it's a very cold hardy palm, one of my favorites. Again, I have two other specimens right here. So this is Chamaerops Humilis, also smaller version of it, and you can see the spathes down there, the flower pods. I did get some seeds from them, and there looks like there's going to be a couple more. So those are flowers that produce seeds. This is a dioecious plant, meaning that it is male and female. So they will sometimes self-pollinate depending on the new growth coming up, new pups coming up, if they're male or female. But I do have a couple of other ones, so they are very easy to grow and self-pollinating sometimes. So yeah, and also another interesting fact about the Chamaerops humilis is its closest relative is the Trachycarpus fortunei. So I got two mid-sized ones here, and the one that I showed you there. They're very closely related. The only differences is this is a clumping palm, sorry. And what that means is, again, that it just throws out pups. Let me pan in there a little bit closer, and you guys can see shooting new pups out. And whereas the Trachycarpus, it does not do that. And also the like I mentioned before, on the petioles you do get some really bad spines, as you guys can tell again. Whereas on the Trachycarpus, there are some spines there, but they're very small, and you can rub your hands along the petiole there, and you will not feel any real abrasion to your fingers. So yeah, so this is my mid-size one, and then I got an interesting one, and there are variations in Chamaerops. There is only one recognized species in the genus, and that is Chamaerops humilis, but there are different varieties and cultivars. This is a cultivar here. This is called a Volcano. So Chamaerops Humilis Volcano. I'm not very sure exactly the history behind this, but it originated somewhere in southern Italy, around Sicily, the island of Sicily, and it was discovered there supposedly. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to do a little more research, but this cultivar is interesting because it is a dwarf specimen, meaning that it will never get that big. It tends to be more silvery in color, and one way that you can distinguish a volcano is on the petioles. Unlike your normal humilis there, it's similar to Trachycarpus, where on the petiole here there is no spine. So yeah, very interesting. So that's one way to distinguish it, and it's very clumping, narrow growing specimen. So it's well sought after. I know this was hard for me to get. If I could possibly find another one, I would, but or maybe I'll separate it. But as you guys can tell, there's not much there, so I probably would look for another one. But they're extremely slow growing dwarf specimens. So this is a cultivar, again, called Volcano. So yeah, very interesting. I also have a Facebook group, if you guys are interested, that I started a couple of years back. It is called the Chamaerops family. And yeah, I'm going to send you guys a link on the bottom description there. If you're interested in it, that'd be great. We got a lot of knowledgeable people on the group. And if you have any questions or concerns, or just want to share your own Chamaerops, pictures and details and all that, or you want to get started and get some info again, yeah, consider joining the group. A lot of knowledgeable people, like I said, and I'll leave a description or a link in the description down below, and hopefully you guys can check it out. And I know a lot of you guys are not interested in palms, growing palms, and you're kind of just here because you're interested or curious, I should say, and that's fine too. But if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I do grow other tropicals, and I will get into that later, and tell you guys some of my favorites and why I think you should grow them. So with that, we're heading into Canada Day long weekend here, and so it's going to be a long weekend, so looking forward to that. And the weather should be good, nice and hot, and looking forward to that too. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Like always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I will answer every one of them. And with that, you guys have a great weekend coming up. And again, thanks for watching. Cheers.